Ambassador Krell of the Zephyrian Commonwealth adjusted his ceremonial armor as he entered the Grand Assembly Hall of the neutral station Concordia. The crystalline walls hummed with translation matrices, ensuring every species could communicate. During these delicate negotiations, around him, representatives from 12 different galactic powers took their positions, each flanked by their most elite military personnel. The Thanathi brought their feared Shadow Guard, beings whose very presence seemed to absorb light. The hegemony of Voss displayed their towering titanium legionnaires, each one a walking fortress. Even the peaceful Melodian Collective had their big Harmony Enforcers present, their bioluminescent forms pulsing with barely contained energy. But the human delegation sat alone. Ambassador Sarah Chen, a slight woman in a simple blue diplomatic suit, occupied the Earth's designated section without a single bodyguard, soldier, or weapon in sight. Her only companion was an elderly man with kind eyes who appeared to be some sort of aide, quietly organizing papers. Krell had always found this puzzling. In his 3 decades of galactic diplomacy, every species brought their military might to peace summits. It was standard protocol, a show of strength that paradoxically enabled negotiations. How could one discuss territorial boundaries or trade routes without demonstrating the power to enforce agreements? Yet humans never did. "It's insulting," growled General Thakmor of the Cronin Empire, his forearms crossed in obvious displeasure. "Do they think us so weak that they need no protection? Or do they believe themselves so superior that our weapons cannot touch them?" Krell had wondered the same thing. Human military capabilities were well documented, but contradictory. In the Aijo border wars of Sector 7, human forces had demonstrated tactical brilliance that left military academies across the galaxy rewriting their textbooks. Their technology, while not the most advanced, was used with such innovative efficiency that it had earned grudging respect from every major power. Yet here they sat, apparently defenseless. The summit began with the usual formalities. Chancellor Vex of the Outer Rim Territories spoke of mining rights. Commodore Zeleth outlined shipping lane disputes. Each speaker was flanked by armed guards, their presence a subtle reminder of the consequences of diplomatic failure. When Ambassador Chen's turn came, she stood with the easy confidence of someone discussing the weather rather than the fate of 3 star systems. "Earth proposes a rotational mining schedule," she began, her voice carrying clearly through the translation system. 6-month intervals with environmental restoration periods between operations. "Preposterous!" Thakmor slammed his primary fist on the table. "The Cronin Empire requires constant resource extraction to maintain our fleet. And where exactly," Admiral Korath of the Thanathi interjected, his words dripping with menace, "is your military to enforce such naive idealism?" The elderly man beside Chen looked up from his papers for the first time, adjusting his glasses, with a slight smile. Ambassador Chen simply nodded toward him. "This is Dr. Marcus Webb," she said calmly. "He's here to answer any questions about Earth's approach to diplomacy." Dr. Webb stood slowly, the picture of a harmless academic. Several delegates exchanged glances. Was this some sort of joke? "You want to know why we don't bring soldiers to peace talks?" Dr. Webb asked, his voice carrying a strange warmth. "It's because we've learned something important about ourselves." He walked to the center of the room, hands clasped behind his back like a professor addressing students. "You see, we humans have a peculiar trait. When we're trying to make peace, we're quite reasonable, flexible, creative. We can find solutions that benefit everyone." He paused, looking around the room with those kind eyes. But when we bring our military to negotiations, the temperature in the room seemed to drop several degrees. Well, it changes our mindset. Suddenly, we're not thinking about mining schedules or shipping lanes. We start thinking about fields of fire, orbital bombardment patterns, how quickly we could secure the high ground if talks break down. Krell noticed that Dr. Webb's smile never wavered, but something had shifted in his demeanor. The other delegates were leaning forward now, paying attention. When a human military mind starts working, it doesn't stop at defensive positions. We begin calculating how long it would take to eliminate every ship in this sector, whether your homeworlds are within strike range of our deep space assets. How many of your colonies would fall before you could mount an effective response? The shadow guard behind the Thanathi delegation shifted uncomfortably. Their species had an instinctive ability to sense predatory intent, and something was setting them on edge. "We've run the simulations, of course," Dr. Webb continued conversationally. "Current force projections suggest that if we really committed to total warfare, not the limited conflicts we've had so far, but genuine human military doctrine unleashed, we could achieve system-wide dominance within 18 months. Admiral," Korath's hand moved toward his sidearm. "Are you threatening us, human?" Dr. Webb looked genuinely surprised. "Threatening?" "Oh, goodness, no. I'm explaining why we don't bring our military to peace talks. You see, once a human soldier starts thinking tactically about everyone in the room as potential enemies," he shrugged apologetically, "it becomes very difficult to stop thinking that way." The silence in the room was absolute. "So we leave them at home," Ambassador Chen said, resuming her seat as if nothing unusual had happened. "It's much easier to negotiate mining schedules when we're not accidentally calculating the structural weak points of this station or noting the precise location of everyone's jugular veins." Dr. Webb returned to his chair, once again the picture of a harmless academic organizing papers. "Now then," Ambassador Chen continued brightly, "shall we discuss that rotational schedule? I think you'll find it quite reasonable." The treaty was signed unanimously 3 hours later. As they prepared to leave, Krell approached the human delegation. "Dr. Webb," he said carefully, "what exactly is your position in Earth's government?" The elderly man looked up with that same kind smile. "Oh, I'm retired now. Used to run a little department called Strategic Planning." "And before that?" Dr. Webb's eyes twinkled. "Before that, I was just a soldier who got very good at thinking about how to win wars." As the humans departed, Krell finally understood why Earth never brought their military to peace summits. They didn't need to. They were already there.